it did that thing again. That's weird. So weird. Hello there, lads and lassies. Welcome back to Painscreek Killings, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. We're just gonna have some fun with this. And ooh, I got bits just as we're saying that. Okay, so where am I again? Oh yeah, we're in here. Right. So we need to check drawers and things like that, because I get a feeling I'm missing some stuff. Dooba-dooba-dooba-dooba-doo. You can always take my place when you feel lonely, Dorothy. Right. That's where we got that key. Just hold on to somebody will tell you everything. So that's where we got the cross. And yeah, we're going to explore a little bit more, because I think we may have missed one or two things as we're going along here. So one of the places I want to go to is Dorothy's house. And if you can remember where that is, that'd be great. I obviously can, or you know, because I'm just that good. I'm just that damn good at this game now that my exploratory explorations are. Yeah, I'm not that great. I'm not that great. Doom doom dibba dib dib dibby dib dib dibby dib dibby dibby dib dib. Down the stairs, yes, down the stairs we go. And off on an adventure. Okay, so we need to go into the bedrooms, because I think we never checked them properly. We need to have a look here, because we need to find Oliver's key. Right, because there wasn't that much in this place that I thought, you know, so... we need to get into the bedrooms. So you don't have keys here. I've got a key here. So that's not the right key. So we need to know how to get into Dorothy's bedroom. So I would just like to ask you guys, where the hell do you think that key might be? We're going to go back into the church area for just now, because I want to check something out around here. I think it's by a fence. Yeah, we'll check that in a wee minute. I mean, we can go back there. We're no rush, you know. That's been my issue the other couple of days, is I've been rushing around trying to get everything done. Aha! And there's nothing in it. There we go. Okay. Dear Father Calvin, this is a letter about the things I have witnessed during my stay in Painscreek while in service to Mr. Magdalene Roberts. I have no one to confide in, and I dare not speak to you in public, hence this letter. I accompanied Mrs. Roberts to Painscreek on July 4th of 1975 to visit her son Charles. It was rumoured that Vivian had a nervous breakdown following her own delivery of Tricia, that she had to stay in PCH for rehabilitation for several months. During that time period, Charles was all alone. He found comfort in a housemaid by the name of Sophia. They had an affair. A boy was born. 2 days after arriving, we were informed that Sophia, along with her child, had left Painscreek. Where she could have gone off to was a mystery for all of us. I assume most of us believed in the story, including myself. However, Mrs. Roberts refused to believe that Sophia would leave when she would have accepted into the Roberts family. The boy that she bore for Charles would have guaranteed that Mrs. Roberts initiated a search for Sophia with her driver Patrick and myself. It lasted less than 2 months before she passed away from a heart attack. What I want to confess in this letter is not about Sophia, although I was initiated by her disappearance. It's about Mrs. Roberts' untimely death. You see, Mrs. Roberts had a heart condition that had been affecting her for a while. However, her medication had always been kept stable. Her prescription was still the same during her visit to Painscreek, yet her condition deteriorated. The family doctor Henry Johnson confirmed that her search for Sophia had taken a toll on her health. All she needed was to rest as much as she could and she would be fine. I know that despite the doctor's advice, Mrs. Roberts did not stop the search. Did that create stress on her? Yes, but should it have killed her? According to the physician attending Mrs. Roberts back home, no. Definitely not within such a short time span as she'd been taking her medicine. Her body was never autopsied. Her son Charles wanted her body untouched and buried properly. As Patrick and I were packing to leave for home, I couldn't help but wonder who would have wanted Mrs. Roberts dead. Is there a connection between the affair of Charles and the housemaid, the disappearance of Sophia and her child, and the death of Mrs. Roberts? I'd like to say whom I suspect, yet I am in no such position and I'm afraid that I might name the wrong person. As I write this letter, I hope you can understand what I'm trying to convey. I pray that the truth will be revealed as God permits it. Sincerely, Sylvia Eden. That was Father Calvin's birthday, yep. I said I got a couple of things written down. Right, we need to figure out how to get into the hospital. We need to find out where the tools are. Is there anything in here different? A secret door somewhere. There. Do you see it? Do you see it? Ooh. So I'll place that in there. Okay, does that open up anything upstairs? Aha! You'll close that off because I don't want anyone sneaking in. There's a bed here. And books and stuff. Scissors, some line, thermos. Some wood glue, tape, VHS, Roberts Estate security tapes. Old radio. Funky. An old gate key. Ha ha ha! Another key. Painscreek sewer. Residential houses. Farmer's Market, Maple Drive, Mayor's Mansion. Old sewer entrance is next to the Mayor's Mansion. Okay, we'll take that with us. What have we got here? Understanding psychology. The mind is key. Why was she killed? Well, who killed my mother? So we've got a choice between Charles, Vivian, Bernard, Andrew, Wanda, Dr. Johnson, and possibly Trisha. Interesting. Music box key is attached to it. There's a pattern on the baby's blanket. Yep. Little diary here. Yeah, totally the sewers. I realised who I am from the moment I saw the photo. I have the exact same blanket. I know who my father is. Everything makes sense now. I visited Andrew today. I needed to know where they hid Mom's body, but he cried and begged me not to say anything about it anymore. There was no room for whatever questions I had left. I then told him I'm the boy he gave to Father Calvin to get rid of. He was utterly shocked. After that I left. I could not bear to look at him for another second. I know who I am, and I know how I feel everything is... Sorry, and now I feel everything is falling apart. Andrew came to the cabin and told me where the body was hidden. He said he was sorry and left. Externally I was quiet, internally I was sputtering and livid. After he left, he came to my room and cried. The well had dried up and was covered in moss. I wouldn't have known that the well even existed if I didn't work at the mansion. I finally found Mom's body. I buried her in the cemetery next to Father Calvin. There was no tombstone for her, just a wooden cross. I don't think Father Calvin would mind. After all, he was the one who saved me. A month has passed. I haven't worked since. I stopped meeting anyone. Trisha knocks on my door every day, but I would hide each time. She cries every time, begging me to come out, anxious to know why I won't see her. If she's done anything wrong. I don't know what to say to her, but I know we can't be together anymore. Well, certainly not the brother and sister, so... Father Matthew visited me today. He said he hasn't seen me at church for a while, and on one, I think there's no one should be there, has heard from me in weeks. When he asked how I was doing, I began crying. Tears just flowed down my cheeks. I cried and cried. I couldn't stop them. I told him everything. I told him that I knew that Charles was my father. I confessed that I knew that Trisha was my half-sister. I said I didn't know what to do now. He listened and didn't speak. So okay, so we've got a couple more keys now. So we can head up to sewers. We've got the key for the music box as well. Same publishing company. There it is. Got it. Dear Trisha, as I've grown to learn about my birth parents, I feel as if a great veil has been lifted from my eyes. I now understand why Father Matthew was against us seeing each other. He was right, we shouldn't be together. Please believe me when I say I did not kill your mother. I've never lied to you, and I never will. I don't know who killed Vivian. Hopefully the truth will come to light someday. So much I want to tell you, but I can't at the moment. I pray the day when I can express everything to you will come quickly. All I can say now is I'm sorry for all the pain I've caused you. Please forgive me. Sincerely, Scott. Is there anything else in there? Can't activate it or anything. Okay. Got it. It's more just a detective game, really. I wonder if that woman's going to be around here somewhere. Use the rope. Right, let's head down. What is that? Huh. Search in the back. Oh, 0526. Okay. 0526. There. It was hidden. Got it. Okay, we're in spooky music territory here. Oh, how I love going in sewers. Yeah, it's so much fun. Okay, the top's been sealed shut. Slick it bugger yet. Okay, I'm gonna go this way first. That one's locked. So we have to go this way. Oh, this is quite a far way to go. Yeah, watch out for the blood-filled balloons. Certainly shall. Unless I'm the one making them. This is mildly creepy, actually. This was actually mildly creepy there, so... Oh, I'm in the hospital. There's a janitor's closet. There's a drain in the middle of the floor. Can't open any of those. Keys. BH. Briefcase key. Steve Moss. Got a diary here as well. I called Dorothy last week. She told me something interesting about Sophia. There was a puzzle that she received from Matthew when she first started working at Mansion, sort of a birthday gift for her. In that puzzle, Sophia was to visit both hers and Matthew's favourite locations in Painscreek. Each location lies a clue that Matthew had written on the wall of the building exterior. The clues, when put together, will point her to the location of her gift, although I thought that was a neat idea. Sophia's favourite phrase is Anne's Courtyard, Inn Suites. Bridge over the stream at the gate entrance, post office. Why would someone like the post office? And where can I find Matthew's favourite places? I received an anonymous message this morning. It claimed that Scott wasn't Vivian's killer. Unfortunately, that's all I got. I've had my doubts whether Scott really killed Vivian. He sure had the motive, but upon reading all his diaries and looking through his investigation notes, I can't help but think that Scott didn't kill Vivian. On the contrary, he was trying to find out who killed Vivian, as well as what really happened to Andrew Reed and Dr. Johnson. Still don't know if this anonymous person is a man or a woman, but they've helped solidify my thoughts on Scott. Tim Curry, yeah. I received another message yesterday. It told me to look into Bernard, the mansion's butler. I can't help but feel that this person is trying to tell me something, but not exactly what. The message said I'll find something in the house. Today I received a key in the mail with the initials BH. Does it stand for Bernard's house? I searched everywhere and read all of Bernard's diaries. Something just doesn't add up. Maybe it's just a hunch or simply that I'm thinking too much. But would he really have killed Vivian? Something else about his entries that just made me pause and wonder if he was indeed a murderer. I photographed all the pages. Right. What else do we have in here? A drawer with some notes in it. So we can probably go and turn the power back on, then we can use the key card. Electrical room. Much better. Yay, we've got power. That's better, you see? Turn the lights on, we can see everything now. There. Okay, so Henry wasn't returning the calls. Vivian Roberts, Dr. Henry Johnson. Dear Dr. Henry Johnson, I would like to thank you for your contribution to Painscreek Community Hospital and the people of Painscreek for the past 2 decades. However, there has been reports regarding the mishandling of funds designated for PCH, most of which came from the Roberts Relief Fund. The support is meant to help with purchases of medical equipment and supplies. Since a sum of nearly $160,000 has been estimated missing, we have no other choice except to open an investigation. Until you're able to explain the discrepancies between your accounting and ours, we have no choice but to suspend all funding for the hospital for the time being. I'll be meeting you and your accountant to solve these issues so we may continue to support the hospital's needs. So he knew. Okay, got another key there. A key for room 203. And a note here. Charles Roberts, I don't know if it's a joke that you sent me a threat letter, but if you knew about the well, then you must have found out the truth. Just so you know, your wife was the one behind all of it. If you have any grudge, it's with her, not me. I was just a witness in Sophia's death, nothing more. So Vivian did kill Sophia. I know what you did. Meet me by the well at midnight. You know which one. Come alone. Right, so we're going to check room 203 now. 205, 204, 203. Lots of books and stuff. Another knife. Happily ever after. This must be Vivian's room. Scott Brooks' body was found by Jogger with multiple stab wounds to the heart. Police unsure if events are tied to the killing of Vivian Roberts. Scott's body was found behind the bush on Maple Drive. The police are currently investigating the case. Scott Brooks, the murder suspect in the Vivian Roberts case, was killed yesterday. His body was found on the roadside along Maple Drive. Around 6:50 AM, a jogger happened to see the body lying motionless on the side of the road behind the bush while doing his morning run. He stopped to check if the person needed help, only to notice the body was covered in blood. He immediately called 911. The police arrived shortly at around 7 AM and the victim was pronounced dead. The time of death was predicted to be about 4 to 6 hours ago, between the time of death between 1 AM and 3 AM. Questions have been raised pertaining to the murder of Vivian Roberts, especially since Scott was released from prison due to what? Got a room key here. Got it. Dear Dorothy, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for all you've done for me. You've taken care of my store on so many occasions. You've helped maintain its bright spirit. I would be lying if I said I'm not saddened by your departure. I will greatly miss you. I wish you all the best in your new place. Do invite me there once you've settled in. May God be with you. Oliver Gibson. Haha! Oliver's place. There's a cross there. Oh. Open. Daughter of ex-mayor found dead at Painscreek Community Hospital. Trisha Roberts falls 40 foot from the rooftop and lands on head and dies. Yesterday morning, the body of Trisha Roberts was found in the grounds of Painscreek Community Hospital. She was pronounced dead at 7:20 a.m. According to Miss Thompson, she was starting her morning shift when she heard some sound near the reception area. She went out to find Trisha laying motionless. Blood was flowing out from her head. She quickly called Dr. Bennett, the attending physician for the day's morning shift, who brought Trisha to the emergency room at once. Unfortunately, it was too late. The hospital CCTV shows that Trisha Roberts was walking around the hospital at around 6:30 a.m. She headed for the roof at 6:54 a.m. A few minutes later, her body was found in the ground 3 floors below. Charles Robert, ex-mayor and father of the deceased. She was on the roof. What's the key left in the letter? I'll get it in a wee minute. A diary here. Scott was released from prison this morning. Matthew went to pick him up. There's a lot of tension here in Painscreek. Most people think of Scott as a murderer. Charles tried to stop Trisha from seeing Scott, but it's no use. She was already waiting for him at the cabin. Charles is drinking again. He couldn't stop Trisha from trying to see Scott, yet Scott seems to be avoiding her. Trisha should not have been discharged from the hospital at this point. She still needs help and rehabilitation. Derek and Scott fought at the market today. Derek asked Scott why he's avoiding Trisha. Scott didn't say anything. He just walked away. Derek told him not to come back anymore. It's sad to see what's happening to them now. They used to be such good friends. Oh my god, Scott was killed. Trisha's been going crazy ever since Scott died. She sometimes screams in the middle of the night. Here and there she'll ask us why Scott hasn't visited her for a while. No one seems to know how to answer without agitating her condition. Trisha's finally been admitted to the hospital for another mental breakdown. Charles doesn't know what to do. I've asked for his permission to take care of Trisha at the hospital until she recovers. I think Charles appreciates my help. Holy hell, so Trisha killed herself as well. Thank you. Oliver Photolab clearing. Right. This is the chest, isn't it? What was the number again? Stuff in here. Dear Sophia, how have you been? I hope everyone is treating you well at the mansion. It's been 6 months since my missionary work started here in Indonesia. Life is hard, but meaningful. I thought my life at the orphanage was miserable, but after coming here, I realised I'm blessed more than I could ever imagine. I'm supposed to be back in 1 week's time, but I recently decided I'll be extending my stay here for another 6 months. I haven't received any letters from you for a while now. I hope you're doing well. Remember the time we were at the orphanage? You said that you don't want to be poor anymore. I think God heard your call and brought you to Painscreek. Charles and Vivian told me they were glad I introduced you to them. They said you're a hard-working person with a kind heart, and that us being related was not the reason they hired you. You got the job on your own merit. I didn't know whether or not to tell them we're not actually cousins. I feel bad... Where's that? Sorry, I feel bad for lying to them. I guess I'll have to tell them the truth someday. Having said that, I'm glad you're in Painscreek. We can talk and meet any time, just like the good old days at the orphanage. I'll do my best here. I hope you can wait for me. Best regards, Matthew Brooks. P.S. I've prepared a special present for your birthday. Wait for my telegram that day. We've got a diary as well. I know some people don't like me. Wanda always picks on me and Bernard ignores me most of the time. Andrew, well, he's okay as long as I'm not in his garden. Dorothy cares a lot for me. I like her. Tom, our security guard, treats me with respect even though I'm just a housemaid. Vivian and Charles are kind to me. Oh, and Matthew too. I almost forgot about him. He's been taking care of me forever, certainly as long as I can remember. I'm a lucky girl. Matthew talks to me whenever he has time. Sometimes I feel he's trying to escape his chores at the church. We'll talk about everything under the sun, our hopes, dreams, futures. He reminds us of our days at the orphanage. Landing a job here as a maid was the best thing that could have happened to me. However, I never imagined I would be having an affair with a married man, let alone my employer. Now I'm carrying his child. How do I face Matthew? I received a letter from Matthew today saying he'll be extending his stay in Indonesia for 6 more months. That's always been him. He's always had a noble heart, wanting to help people everywhere. I miss him, but I'm glad he decided to extend his stay here. There. It gives me time to prepare how I'll explain my situation to him. I don't know how he'll take it if he just hears the truth blurted out once he gets back. I received a telegram this morning from Matthew wishing me a happy birthday. He told me he had a special birthday present prepared for me. All I need to do is to find the clues that he placed in our favourite places. He's waiting for my telegram after I've solved the puzzle. I've actually solved it already, but I don't know what to say to him. What should I do? My baby was born today at 8:20 AM, and it's a boy. He looks just like Charles. Dorothy's taking good care of us. She prepares the food and attends to my needs. I almost feel like I'm her boss. Charles visits me all the time, asking if we need anything else. I told him he didn't have to come in so often to instead focus on work. As a mayor, he must have a lot in his mind. Charles told me today that his mother, Magdalene, would be arriving in 2 weeks. She knows about our relationship. I feel nervous because she's a strict woman. At the same time, I'm happy because she told Charles to take responsibility for me and my son. Soon, I won't have to be a maid anymore. Charles has decided to name our child Vincent Roberts. I like that name. To the photography. Place down here. Or up there. I'm not sure. It's around. So if I remember rightly, there's a place in here we haven't checked out yet. Because we've got the BH, which is Bernard, obviously. Bernard, whatever his last name is. And there was a locked door. Which is here, but through here first, there was that there. I have a hammer. And I found a bloodstained knife. Take a photo of it. Aha! Just getting used to taking photos of everything here. Oh, Bernard, what did you do? I drove Vivian today since Derek is out of town with Charles. As I was driving, we talked. She expressed that despite having a successful business, she felt empty and tired. Trisha hates Vivian for trying to stop her from seeing Scott. She seems to be really bothered by the name Vincent, and her relationship with Charles seems to be just for show. I wish I could comfort her. She's going through so much right now. If only I could confess to Vivian how much respect I have for her, how much I admire her. Ever since Trisha brought up the name Vincent, Vivian has been pretty quiet. Even during dinner she hardly spoke. I can barely remember the last time Vivian appeared happy. I don't think anyone can blame her. Wanda hasn't been coming to work for a while now. Her illness is getting worse. I wonder how she's coping. Derek wasn't available to drive Vivian again, so I offered to help. It's been a month since I first drove for her. She's been opening up more to me, telling me about the struggles she's faced with. Her rocky relationship with Charles, how she really dislikes Scott. Sometimes I would give her some suggestions when she asked what she should do. All the time she just wants someone to listen to her. Mostly I'm just happy to be with her. This is all going together. Vivian seems rather distraught recently. During the afternoon tea gathering, I stood outside the room and tried to listen to the conversations. She feels miserable being with Charles. They hardly look at each other, let alone speak personally. Personally, I don't think Charles deserves her. I finished reading Vivian's biography. Half the facts were incorrect. The writer should have done his homework a little better. Somebody's a bit obsessed. Sometimes when I'm driving for Vivian, she asks me to drop her off at the corner of a street, typically in front of Tom's Cafe. She's always telling me she'll make it back home on her own. It aroused my curiosity, so after dropping her off today, I parked the car and watched her. She ordered a cup of coffee to go. She then left the cafe and walked up the street for about 5 minutes to a residential area. She stopped in front of an apartment and pressed the doorbell. Shortly after, a man in his early 30s wearing a suit opened the door. He leaned over and hugged Vivian. She gave the coffee to him, and they exchanged some words. I couldn't hear what they said, then they entered the apartment together. Who is he? This is the 6th time I've followed Vivian. After she went into the building with the guy, I parked a car nearby to wait for her to come out. Is this considered stalking? About 2 hours later, a cab stopped out in front of the apartment. Shortly afterwards, Vivian came outside and the man followed closely behind. They chatted for a bit. Vivian looked extremely comfortable with him. Before leaving, she kissed him on the cheek. What's going on? I tracked down the guy. He works at a bank. The place they meet is his apartment. How could she do that? Who the hell is he? I reported sick for the 3rd consecutive day. As I lay in bed, I kept thinking on why Vivian would be seeing another man. No matter what Charles did to her, she kept her faith in him throughout the years. How could she be having an affair now? She's better than that. She's supposed to choose me. Dude, seriously? Someone's already been here. Someone's already searched this place, so why? Why would that be? The hospital gave me these pills. They're supposed to help fight depression. I feel a slight dizziness. Maybe the food I ate this morning. The dizziness comes and goes. I'm still able to work, not a big problem. It's my day off today. I didn't take the medication. By the evening I started thinking about Vivian. I had to drive Vivian again, so I took double the dosage. I had a migraine for the rest of the day. At least I didn't have to think about her. Couldn't Vivian stop seeing that guy? Why can't I stop thinking about it? Now I know my dizziness comes from those pills. The pills don't seem to work anymore. It doesn't matter if I take them or not. I can't stop imagining what Vivian and that guy are doing whenever they meet. I stopped taking the medication. Oh, you idiot. The guy's an umpty. The bathrooms are way too clean. Right, we're heading to the photography lab and we're going to get the other tools, and then I'm going to end this episode and we'll finish this tomorrow. This will be the second to last one and we'll finish this tomorrow. Okay, we've got Oliver's key. We're in Oliver's studio now. We can find the rest of the stuff. Have a little look around. I'm not going to do too much of an in-depth search just now. I'm just looking for the tools and then we can move on. So we've got some locked doors here. If I was a guy who had some tools, where would I put the tools? Tools. Wrench. Yes. Okay. We've got the wrench. And with that, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching, boys and girls. Please don't forget to subscribe. Share this video with your pals, and I will catch you next time. But until then, bye-bye.